This little play gym by Fisher-Price is surprisingly good. The pitch is pretty good, the sound quality is not bad for a toy, and you can learn a lot of basics using just these first 3 keys. I recommend this for babies who are about newborn to 6 months old. They can press the keys with their little fists or accidentally hit them with their feet, and they're learning about up and down, stepping and skipping, things that will become intuitive for them, especially as they watch you play the little songs in the Baby-Led Piano series. Next up is this little Casio. It's Casiotone CT-S200. It's about $130, $140. It's not a bad investment for getting started. You could also maybe find one used for less, but here's what I like about it. The tone quality is not bad for a toy. The pitch is clear and true, and you can learn a lot with it. The keys are the right size. There's a lot of great things. Drawbacks would be it's not touch sensitive. The keys are spring-loaded, not weighted, so it doesn't take any strength to build up strength in your fingers. It also does not have touch-sensitive keys, so when I press softly, it doesn't play softly. When I press hard, it doesn't play any louder. So you're going to want that eventually so you can play with expression and so you can teach your baby to play with good expression. But for getting started, this is a great option. Next, we're going to talk about some that I don't really recommend. If you already have one of these, I'm not going to tell you don't use it, but you're going to want to graduate pretty soon. Here are a couple of reasons. One is the first thing your kid's going to see is this. They don't learn anything by pressing those keys. How do you stop it? All electronic keyboards have some version of pre-recorded stuff, but this one sounds particularly irritating. The tone quality of this is just not very pleasant. It's not warm, it's pretty irritating. Here's the biggest problem. The keys are so small. This is not ideal for a grown-up, but especially for little kids, they need bigger, chunkier keys because they're not going to be using their individual fingers yet. They're going to be using their whole fist or their foot. And this, they don't, that's what it's going to sound like when your baby plays it. Oh, and then that. Don't buy one of these. If you already have one, please feel free to use it because it does have some basics that you can get by with if you can stand the sound. So there's that. Here's another one I really am disappointed with, and this is Little Tykes. They used to have a really good Tapatoon piano, and when my kids were little and we didn't own a piano, I went to great lengths to get them one of those because the pitch was really right on. This one, not so much. The little tone quality is dead, and the pitches aren't even what you want. This will not play any of the songs in the Little Bird Piano Academy book. So that's very cute, but not very functional. So next, I'm going to show you some other options you might not have considered. This is kind of my workhorse. This is what I use every day to compose on because it's got these MIDI cables. It hooks up into my computer. It's got weighted keys. They're touch sensitive, so if I press softly, it plays quietly. If I press harder, I can get a lot of sound out of it. You want touch sensitivity because without touch sensitivity, that music would sound very weird. It needs to have louds and softs. You need to be able to bring out the melody and make the harmony quieter, but that's something you can grow into if you need to. However, you can get something like this because this keyboard is 20 years old and it still works great. You can probably get a good deal on one on Marketplace or Nextdoor or Buy Nothing and have something that is not a toy, that's a real musical instrument. The only drawback with this one is it's very heavy. It's like 50 pounds, but it's nothing like an acoustic piano to move. You don't have to hire professional movers, you just have to have somebody that's stronger than me. But you know, you can probably find somebody like that. It's pretty good. Roland FP-5, very old, very good instrument. This is my favorite. This is an acoustic piano. It's made of wood. It has strings and hammers inside. It's the old-fashioned kind that you don't plug in. The only sound it makes is piano because it's not electronic. I love to play it more than anything. I bought it at Classic Pianos in Bellevue, which I highly recommend. They have the best service I've ever run into in a piano store. Here are some drawbacks to an acoustic piano that make it, not really a good possibility for some people. It does not take more space really than an electronic keyboard that's full size, because this width is the main part of it, and they're all this width. Maybe it's 4 inches wider because of the body. It's a few inches deeper, but other than that, it doesn't take more space. It's that it's heavy. I don't know, this is probably 400 pounds. If you get a very old one, they could be up to 1,000 pounds or more. They're incredibly heavy. I don't recommend you have your friends and family move them, because I can't promise you somebody won't get injured, and that's the truth. So there are professional piano movers that you can hire to move them. That's a drawback sometimes. For me, it's worth it. They need to have the full sound experience. That's the thing you don't get with an electronic keyboard, is that fill the room kind of sound. But the electronic keyboards now are pretty good, and I have a list below of some graduating price range keyboards that I do recommend. You can get a lot of pianos for free. There are thousands of pianos for free. Usually it's like getting a car at a junkyard. It's very heavy, and you're going to have an investment of moving it into your home, and it could be that it needs a lot of expensive repairs. So if you have an opportunity to get a very inexpensive or free piano from a friend or family, be sure to have a piano technician check it out before you go to the trouble of moving it. Because otherwise you're going to have a giant piece of furniture in your house, and you might find that you want to get rid of it and you can't. So that's the thing. Used pianos, I've found some really, really great used pianos for good prices, but I kind of knew what I was looking for. So if you do that, be sure to get a technician to look it over for you and get a good opinion on whether it's worth the hassle. It might be. So there are so many options. I have listed below in the notes some of my favorite keyboards, if a keyboard is really what you're going to go for. At the end of 2022, that's my list. It could change. If it changes, I'll update it in the notes. So whatever you decide, it's better to get started than to wait for this, because you can do a lot with less than this. Okay, so I will see you in class. Bye.